We can see if he's here. Probably won't be though. Usually they're like, oh yeah, the Sultan's over there. And of course they're never there. Let's see if we get our deserter check here. We're probably gonna. I can't remember. It's somewhere around midday. And I don't want to lose those shipmates. Let's just move them up. And if the Sultan is here, we'll be able to. We might be able to actually help them with that city. Let's see. Oh, he is here. All right, perfect. That is a surprise. It's a pleasant surprise. And this is going to be a good start of an episode here. So let's go ahead and start an episode right here. Welcome back again, friends, to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. Our YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related. And I've got an idea here. In fact, I just realized this is the perfect episode here to try something audacious in Bannerlord. We've been playing this campaign fast and loose. Our main character here, Madmul, I was going to say we're a mercenary for the Asurai. We're actually a mercenary for the Western Empire right now. But we just got peace with the Asurai, and we're going to try a lot in this episode here. In fact, let's save the game right here, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an iteration of this. In other words, I'm going to do two variants here. We're going to use this campaign right now as a guide to how to form your own kingdom. And we're going to do it two different ways. We're going to do this for advanced players, give you some ideas, the players that already have some good experience in Bannerlord, how to form your kingdom early on, or maybe just for people who are learning fast from the channel and you want to learn how to form your kingdom. We're going to give you a bunch of different ideas in this episode. And then I will come back to that save game here where the Sultan is right here. The Sultan's, of course, critical for this. In fact, I should have made sure he's here still. What we can do is we can now join, oops. He won't let us. We've got to leave the Western Empire. We were a Western Empire vassal, so we leave them. We're going to join the Sultan. Let me tell you what we're going to do here, hopefully. We're going to get a city, because there's an army somewhere in here heading to take this rebel city. This was an Asurai city. In fact, it's ironic. We just helped these rebels to defeat the Sultan. Now we're talking to the Sultan. We'd like to join your kingdom. And then I think we will make our own kingdom somewhere down here in the south, and I will talk more about that. So, did you get all that? We're going to do a lot in this episode here. Let's go. We got to talk to the guy here. Now that we're free of the other obligation, we can do here. Here we go. I was going to say it's not working. Here we go. We're ready. Now we swear allegiance, blah, 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 blah. A bunch of stuff here that we're not going to obey, right? In other words, we just swore fealty to Unquid, and next week we're gonna become independent. This is gonna be fun. Now, critical to this strategy is the knowledge that usually if you don't have a fief in a campaign, you get awarded one pretty quickly, right? As long as you have good repute with the kingdom. In other words, as long as you haven't like done a bunch of executing and you have a decent amount of influence. Now, right now we have no influence, or virtually no influence. So what I want to do here is in fact, I realize we can take some rebels probably. Let's look for combat first. Now, I got my ship here, and if our army looks crazy, this whole campaign is on YouTube, or most of it we've been filming. We've built this amalgamated Asurai Northern Empire force, and we're way over the maximum, right? Way over. 180 over. We're probably going to suffer deserters. Now, when you suffer deserters, it's a 24-hour check. Usually it happens the same time each day. And what I like to do is note that time, because it's consistent. Okay, we just had it. It's usually about a quarter of the troops that you're over. So if you're only a few troops over, you have a couple deserters. But if you have 130 over like this, you suffer a huge amount of deserters. The good news, though, is you know where it comes from. It just came from the bottom of our roster here, right? So you could choose what troops route. In other words, or desert. You're not going to lose your best troops by simply keeping your best troops on the top. So we try to cover that every episode, but it's been profoundly impactful in this campaign, and we shouldn't get another deserter check. And here's the thing. You can keep a huge army. Shit, we should have got married. You can keep a huge army out at sea. So we've got this big force. In fact, look at this. We're still 130 over, but we're not going to suffer any deserters because we've assembled a nice little fleet. We've got 2 Drummonds and a Dromachian, and look at that. Look at that. Our capacity of troops is 401. So that's going to enable us to do a bunch of things in this episode. Now, in the near term, I had a couple companions that needed some good equipment. I'm going to upgrade them, and I'm going to talk about some of the things we're basically trying to rely on for this episode. You certainly don't want to become independent super early unless you're experienced and you want the challenge, right? So I'll just put that at the outset here. But there are advantages to going super early, and there are advantages to doing the way that we're going to do in this episode here. I'm gonna spend some money. You got to spend money to make money. We've got some characters in this campaign that are still using terrible equipment, but we got some shit to sell. We got some horse armor to sell here. We don't really need all that. Let's sell a little bit of this. Sell a little bit of this excess armor here. We don't really need most of this. I'll do most of our gear stuff off camera, so to speak. And look at that, like, we just got those bows for free. All right, now let's buy food. When you make a new kingdom here, we'll try to do as many tips as possible in this episode. You want to load up on food. In fact, I'm probably going to hit villages all the live long way. We're going to head to... Oops, we're going to head to where these rebels are. Here they are. Yeah, and this guy's heading to besiege. See, traveling to Poros to besiege, that's the rebel city. Right here, these guys are rebelling. We're going to help them. Or more accurately, we're heading that way because I think we're going to get that city. In fact, I would say it's like 90%. Again, let me show you that too. If someone doesn't have a fief, as long as every clan has a fief, well, this clan doesn't have a fief. Oh, that's us. All right, so all the other fiefs have clans, and the minor clans don't count. They can't get fiefs, but all the other Asurai nobles already have fiefs, and Bannerlord is basically, it's almost like socialism. Like if they all have 2 fiefs, you're almost a certainty to get the next one. So let's rock it over here. And we're looking for targets of opportunity, but we just got peace with the Western Empire anyways, so I don't think we're going to have any opportunity here. But the rebels, I might be able to round up some of the rebels, right? When a city rebels, the rebels basically get little parties here, right? So we need influence because we want to get voted for this city. I don't think we can catch any corsairs, although they do dumb shit like that, maybe. It's probably not worth our time. We got our huge armada here. It's going to be hard to catch stuff. But he's sieging. We want to be part of it on some level. Most importantly, we want to get some influence. And here we go, right? It's just influence right at the mouth of the river here, right? Let's trap these guys. Our ships move fast on the river, and the rebels just got the right notion. The problem is, I think, this river dead ends, right? They're only going to be able to run so far. These rebels are cooked. And again, we're not getting deserters because we're on our ships. I don't want to do that, actually. Let's keep some prisoners for later. This perk, too, I think it's kind of exploitive, but 225 riding. There's another perk, I can't remember where it is, but basically you automatically can hold guys in prison forever. I think that's probably maybe needs a nerf or something like that. It's a little bit ridiculous, but a lot of guys depend on that, right? And so if you look at this guy, he's like trying to get by. You ain't getting by. Come with us. Yeah, scum rebel. Now we'll be able to turn these guys over to the dungeon too and get the influence for them. Let's get some of these prisoners. In fact, that's one of the ways we can get influence, right? We can turn these prisoners into the dungeon once we take this city. If we don't get this city, we'll get the next fief, but I'm hoping we get this one. We get some ships here. That's nice. You're not getting away. And I want to fight one of these. We'll do it really fast with the RTS mod. I want to make sure our ships have fire ballistas. I want to make sure basically we're going into battle with the right mix of troops. So let's get these ships lined up. We'll do this fast, but we're going to be... Oh, I got to give our companions some ships. That's why we only get 3 ships. This is what I mean, right? These are the little things you want to adjust. Until you get your companions some ships, they can't use the ships, and it affects how many ships you can have on the battlefield here. That's why we have so few ships. So we'll do this really quick. I'll set this up kind of how I want it. And charge. And we have the RTS mod. Here, we can make it go super quick. Alright, let's melt some pirates here real quick. We're going to benefit from influence here. We're also getting everything from... what do you get? You get engineering skill from this, right? This is going to be good for our force no matter what. And melt some pirates here. And we'll probably lose very few troops. So if these guys are outnumbered 7-1. They're rowing as fast as they can and just shit's on fire. That guy went exploding off the ship. Yeah, keep rowing, guys. This boat's getting flanked and drilled with javelins. They're spinning around in circles. And this shit's over. We can just fast forward the rest of this. Have some of that. Even fast mode, we can still drill these guys. Alright, so down and dirty, quick and easy, and you can see our ships are going to do just fine. I'm considering attacking this Aserai force here after we go independent. I'll make everything clear here in a second. If we get voted for this city, I think we'll go immediately go independent. Like right in their face. And we got a bunch of upgrades and no deaths. Come with us. We're getting influence. We're going to round up all of these rebels. They're just fish in a barrel in the river. They can't escape. We're faster. And on some level, I think they're tethered to the city. I don't think they can run like all the way up the river. I think the game makes them stay near their city. We'll take all their ships. We'll be able to sell them. We're developing quite a little booty fleet. This little armed caravan. I don't think we can catch him. He's out of here. But this rebel's a dead man. Okay, he's back and forth. He's having conniptions. And chase him all the way upriver. We'll just auto-resolve this. So let's help the Aserai with the siege at the end here to get a little bit more influence. We'll just auto-resolve that too. And I think, let's see here. Let's see what the Aserai force looks like after the battle here, but we may just immediately, right in their face, form a huge army. It'll depend, of course, if we get the city and how many forces we have and how many they do, because if we can destroy them in battle right outside the city, then we can head south, take a bunch of fiefs, and start this kingdom. All right, let's hit a village or two here again. No deserters, right? So we can just go to all these villages. In fact, this is a rebel city, right? So, or a rebel village. So give us your troops. 290 something. Let's hit these two. Might as well. Oops. I don't think we want to do that. Alright, so 309. In fact, let's buy their grain. There's some forces fighting down here, but we're going to stay on water. Again, that way we don't get deserters. We need these troops, right? We're about to have gnarly combat. In fact, they're sieging right now down to 1,000. I kind of want them to get worn down here a little bit in this siege, so I'm not going to barrel right in. Let's join late. Let's join. Oh no, get back on the ship. No. Don't want deserters, lads. There we go. Now let's join the siege here right after noon, right? That's when we get deserters. Right about now. No. Land. Oh well. Well, we didn't have any part of that. Shit. Let's put these prisoners in there. That'll increase the odds that we get this. Go to port. We go to town center. Let's go to the keep, rather. Go to dungeon. Donate prisoners. Now we can put the rebels in there, right? We'll get some influence for that, and then we can dump some of these high-end prisoners in there. We need this influence, or at least we might. I think we'd get it anyways, but this will make it even more likely. We're just some poor vassals who need a fief. Would you guys be willing to vote this fief for us? All right, now let's see here. We could pick up troops, might as well. And let's go back on the water. So go to port, call fleet. Should pop up right here. It's 2 days away. Let's fix our boats, set sail. All right, now let's see here. We want to wait for the vote, right? There'll be a vote for this city. There it is. All right. So now we come back to the shore here. And cross your fingers. And look at that. We don't even have to vote, right? We don't have to spend influence at all. We can just a WWF trash talk these nobles here, right? We get this city. And now there's going to be like 300 troops inside the garrison. 299. Okay, it's like 270 troops, like the militia doesn't count. But all these troops are ours now. So watch what we do here, right? We go in here, and we don't care about this city. So what are we going to do? We're going to strip it of all the troops. It's fun to be devious and Bannerlord. Let's go to the keep, manage garrison. Now we're just going to quickly make a huge force, and these troops are free. These are troops they just put in here for us. And how beautiful is this, right? They just load up our new kingdom. Now we have to pay for them, right? So right now we're hemorrhaging funds. We're going to take most of these troops here. Let's just do it like this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make a sizable force. Actually, wait, how do we do this? We got to do... I don't want to do it yet. I want to make armies. All right, so... We got 550 troops. I think that's going to work. In fact, let's do this. Let's give these troops some good equipment. We're going to have battle here real soon. So we want to go... something like that. Now, we could fight at sea. The Aserai are pretty tough at sea. I'm trying to think. We could just hit them on land. I think let's just hit them on land. If we leave a small garrison here, we can go like this and say, train the militia. Let's put a governor. We got to have a governor in the city to go independent. So you do that. Leave. Now, we're going to have deserters, right? Even if we get on a ship. But we can make armies here, right? So here, you come into here. And you can make 3 parties. 3, or I think it's 4 if you have the right perks. So, what are we going to do here? We don't want to use... Yeah, actually, we better do this guy. This guy's going to be able to hold the most troops. He's got some good perks. That'll increase the survivability of these troops. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to do that. Now he's here with 1 troop or whatever. Let me inspect your troops. All right. And we just give this guy a bunch of troops. Oops, oh, shit. We can do this too. This guy needs ships, right? That way they can bring more ships to the battle. So here, take that. We can give this guy just a couple galleys. At least they fit 30 troops. That's something. All right, now we make a couple more of these armies just like this. And then we call them... No, we don't call them. But we're going to make a kingdom. So let's do... We need our engineer. Let's do this guy. Same thing, right? You just fizz this guy a bunch of troops. Click, 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 click. Carpal tunnel. And now we can do one more, I think. Let's do her. She's our scout, but we can have somebody else do our scouting. 290. She can take 102. Beautiful. Let's do it by tier. That way we can leave our worst troops either in the garrison or on our ship. Whoa. Okay, so we got to leave like 40 troops. Or we go at sea. Let's go to sea. And then we don't have to do any of that at all. All right, so here's what we got, right? We got these 4 armies. They're free to call. Now, right away, right? We've got this kingdom here. To hell with your kingdom, right? Just right in his face. They declare war. This army is going to turn around, right? That's okay. That's what we want them to do. He's here. We got some militia there. They're going to siege. All hands on deck here. Let's go to the keep and donate some of these troops. There's a lot of ways to do this, but I think this is probably the most effective. Let's leave him a few more. All right, they're there now. We're our own kingdom, so now we can make armies. Oops, no, we got to make our own kingdom. So we go, let's see, we go here. We talk to this guy. Hopefully you're getting all this. Slow it down if you need to. It's time to take the monumental step of becoming the Inglorious Bastards. It's a great movie. Forgot how to spell. And it's intentionally, that part's intentionally spelled wrong. I think that's how the movie was made, right? And just like that, we throw our dagger into the table here right in front of this Aserai force. They're like, what the fuck? And now we want to make a kingdom. We need influence too because we need some perks. So we don't mind this force turning around at all. Now they're going to come quick, I think. Join up. Get over here. Everybody's with. We got 34 troops that are going to heal. I think they'll turn around. Maybe they won't. Here they come, right? Now what we're going to do here is attack them on land in a couple, 3 days. Let's see. Where can we get some troops? We can't hit that city. Vostrum would take too long. So would Zionica. All right, we don't have a lot of time here. They're going to engage. Unless another Aserai army comes, we're going to be able to fight them in the open. Of course, we're going to use tactics. You are watching Tactical Enlightenment. Destroy that force, and then head south and begin our kingdom. Now, why? Why bother destroying? Well, first, it eliminates a lot of the Aserai. One of the keys to peace in becoming your own kingdom is capturing a lot of enemy lords. If you can capture a bunch of enemy lords, it's much more likely that they'll capitulate. You know how you get into the... In fact, I bet we can view it right now, right? Well, even if we had the influence, I think it would say they're not interested in peace, right? We're this little tiny rebellion. You think the English kings were like, when there was a rebellion, they were like, rolling down there and saying, what do you rebels need, right? You want money? What do you guys need to stop rebelling? Hell no, right? Every time they were like, a sword to your kidneys, sons of bitches, right? And then they would hang all the rebels. Yeah, come this way. We need the influence. Come trap yourself, dipshit. This guy's slow. He did trap himself. Hey, this is a minor clan leader. Are you the leader? No. And it is almost every force seems to have tons of prisoners. We'll take it. We get some upgrades. All right, now let's do 1 or 2 equipment upgrades here. It's going to take the Aserai maybe a day and a half. We're not going to attack them right away. We're going to let them wear down just a little bit on the garrison. We're going to leave this garrison, right? Or at least we're going to leave a lot of this garrison, so there's no reason at all for us to... How come we're not getting... Oh, because we used our steward. Shit. Oh, this guy. I think this guy has them. The right perks. I gained some mariner skill. Man. Cause some fire damage to our enemies. Now we should be able to turn some equipment. There's another Aserai boat. We'll fuck around and find out, lads. And we're running out of equipment to give our troops. But it's at least going to be a few upgrades. I'm not sure if we'll do those prisoners or not. Yeah, a little closer. All you guys a little closer. Surrender or die. Alright, 1 casualty. Let's see if she has troops. Seems like they all do. Now this helps too, right? These are still Aserai forces that we are piling up. And we're not about to leave them in this city. In fact, I think we'll empty the dungeon, right? We'll tote all these Aserai forces south with us. This guy too, you're not making it around us. The rivers are great for you just to ambush enemies left and right. Are you the leader? He is. This is really good too. We might be able to charm this guy and have him join our kingdom. Now those forces did not have prisoners. That's too bad. And there's war here. Now let's see. The deserter check seems to be happening around noon. So we want to attack this force like right now, or early morning would be fine. Right about here. And they're pouring in. You guys are asking for it. I can't tell what they're doing. Looks like they're trying to go upriver for some reason. Alright, we attack. Let's do this. We want to minimize losses here. Now, we're favored, but barely, right? We still got to dig in and do tactics for this kind of battle. Make sure we have this set to the highest. We want the best troops possible out there. Let's dispatch this Aserai army. Oh shit, we lost our divisions here. I'll have to remake these. Now we're going to have a lot of peasants, right? We've been recruiting a lot of peasants. We got some horse archers. Let's make sure this is a shielded archer division, right? Lots of shields. That way those guys in a pinch, they can become defensive. They'll also run out of ammo before the other division. There's a bunch of peasants in the 5th division. Let's make them faster. That way they can run away. All right, that looks good. He's a cavalry commander. Actually, he's a horse archer commander. The Gray Falcon, usually in your campaigns, that guy's a horse archer commander, and that looks good. Let's look at the 1st Division. All right, so we've got one scrub division here that we can kind of use in a square defensively in this battle. Now, tactically, what do we have here? There's not much, right? The enemy also might hunker down. If they don't hunker down, that's going to be good because we've got some definite flanking angles over here on the left. I think we'll try to take some of those high plateaus. And of course, we just fought a battle here. It wasn't very long ago against the Aserai, and we had rebel help.
Whoa!
Deja vu.
After me!
Set up archers here. Let's put that 1st Division way out in front.
Forward! Soldiers! Move! Mounted archers! Move! Footmen! Forward! Archer! Movement!
Hard to see. The light is not good. All right, they're coming in hot. So there's no hesitating here, right? You just have your guys open fire from the get-go. The only division I'll hold fire with is our 6th Division of skirmishers. Those guys can get into action. Hopefully they can get established before the enemy really roars in on them. Enemy cavalry's charging.
Line formation! Footmen! Move! Square formation! Soldiers! Move! Mounted! Soldier! Move!
All right, 1st Division in a square there, and just like the previous battle, man, these Aserai forces come in so hot.
Stand apart!
And they're ignoring our square. It's interesting.
Infantry! Forward!
Anytime the enemy avoids your square, just bring it in behind him. In fact, break it loose, have it charge behind him. Now the 1st Division can chack behind the enemy. It's weak infantry in there. We're definitely going to suffer a lot of losses, especially because I'm killing my own troops. But here comes our 6th Division. And we're way late on having them fire, but I don't think it's going to matter. In fact, there might be a benefit to that. The enemy's getting reinforcements. And in fact, they have archers. Let's pull our cav away from their archers. And now the 6th Division, with all their javelins, can come out in front here to face their archers coming at us. Once they're out in front, the rest of the troops can charge. Let's bring cavalry to the flank. Archers can charge. And it's good night now. These archers are cooked. They got a little bit of cavalry here going to try to counter us, but ain't going to amount to much.
Attack! Soldiers! Charge! Infantry! Foot move! Attack!
Our archers are now caught between archers, horse archers, and our good 6th Division. And man, this sword is so awkward. We're going to have to find a new weapon. This guy's weapon is very clumsy. It's long, but it's clumsy as hell. And charge was in my way. The length is nice because you can swing it a long ways away, but he's not beating anybody to the punch. For shipboard battle especially, you want a faster weapon than this. And that Aserai force, even though we had a few tactical blunders, they're still melted like hot butter. That's a very successful result for us here, and it's time to head south.
Stop.
Now, if you were desperate for money, you'd run to the city here, right, and sell all these troops. We're not desperate for money, right, so I'm not going to really bother. We'll take some prisoners here for the road. Hopefully we can recruit some of those guys. And we're going to empty the garrison here. Or at least we're going to make sure we take most of this garrison with us. We have 100 influence, even better. All right, so the first policy we're going to do here, just because we need the troops, straight to Royal Guard. It's about halfway down. Extra 60 troops for our character, for our main army. Perfect, right? Wait, now we want to get back on our ships. We don't want to suffer the deserters. Maybe you could say we're finagling the system. We're teaching you guys. You guys can finagle away, right? No deserters. Now we can go to the city. Might be able to get even more. Come with us.
Stop there.
We can always use another tracker. We're probably going to make companion armies. And we can leave this guy here. It's actually nice to have a bit of a distraction for the Acervi. Let's go to the keep. There's probably not much here. 70 troops. We're going to leave even less than that. Let's see. We can take 249 on our main character. We're going to need a lot of these troops. That's literally what I'm comfortable leaving. I don't want to leave a lot more than that. Good luck, fellas. Oops, we already took the food. All right, so we got a starving, unruly city here. We don't care, right? Go to port, set sail. We got 480 plus 97, and away we go. Now, I would love targets of opportunity here, right? We'll attack Unquid and 400 troops or something like that, but mainly right now we're trying to make a getaway, and it's distractionary, diversionary, right? So Sun Tzu, we're going to follow some of the axioms here. All warfare is based on deception. It looks like we've got basically rebellion in the center of the kingdom, in the center of the map. That's not at all what we're going to do. And I kind of botched this. We're overburdened here. It's going to take us an extra day to get south. Let's see where we want to start with. So we've got guides on the channel. Of course, this is an advantage for us. We're turning these over almost like guides as well. This city or Hubyar are very defendable, and this is probably the best defensive castle in the game. So we want to come down here. We want to hit some villages, gather up some troops, and hopefully the idea here is deception. While the Aserai are sending forces up here to deal with our rebellion, we're going to go straight to their heartland and cut a hole right through it, right? We're going to try to take a big city and a castle basically before they can really surmount a big defense. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to see resistance. In fact, we're very likely to see resistance, but we've got a big enough force to be able to handle it in the short term. And of course, if we can get a city and a castle, then it's not really going to matter. All right, now we're going to suffer. We're not going to suffer deserters here, right? So we actually want to go just straight onto the land here. I thought we would have deserters, but our ship is big enough that we can just go straight on. Now, there's no ports here, right? We're not going to take a port, but that also leaves you vulnerable. If you have a port, it means the enemy can show up out of nowhere. Think about this city, right? From the perspective of becoming your own kingdom. We can get peace probably with everybody, right? Nobody's going to want to have war with us. In fact, it looked like the Valandians had just sent... The Valandians? Had just sent a peace proposal to us, and I clicked through it kind of carelessly. I think let's hit the city first. You need a source of income if you're going to become independent. Right now it says we're making money. Oh, you know what that's from? That's from, of course, the city in the north. So there's no reason not to have the city in the short term, right? We're getting checks, so to speak, from that city. And let's head straight there. Now, hopefully it doesn't have 900 defenders, right? It can be a lot harder. In fact, I think we'll go to Hubyar if there's a huge defense force here. 682. Let's wait for that lord to leave. Usually they'll leave. I'm in a hurry though here, right? Because as the Aserai forces are going north, that city is going to fall. In fact, it looks like it's rebelling already. Well, you know what? We can do a policy here. There's a policy we can do that'll probably help that. Maybe. It's this one right here. Your settlements earn a little bit less money, but then +2 loyalty, right? That's enormously valuable. And look at the loyalty. It's going to creep up slowly. Now, that means no militia for a few days. If you didn't know that, anything below 25, and there's no militia. It's basically they're refusing to fight. In fact, what they're really getting is they're really getting ready to fight you. When it says no, you know, when it says settlement is rebelling, this gal's not leaving, so we're gonna have to siege this city with her there, and we're kind of in a hurry. Now, you might say, from a realpolitik level, to wait for the Aserai to siege here, because there's a possibility there's an Aserai army forming right down here. In fact, let's just wait one more day. In theory, the Aserai don't know we're here, right? This gal being down here, in fact, she's just left. There's no telegram system, right? The Aserai is not aware that we have a big army down here. What triggers the enemy to know that you're there is raiding their villages. Like this might actually cause them to come down. But more than that is siege, right? Just like when you're playing your game, there's a big old drum, the drums light up, just like that'll happen to Poros here in a day or two. And then you know, the enemy starts swarming that location. Well, we probably have a day or two. Now, let's make sure we have our engineer. We do, so we can make fire catapults here if we so desire. It also means we're going to be able to build siege faster. I don't know if we'll expend all the way to fire catapults. It depends on how many fire catapults they build. If they build a bunch of fire catapults, maybe we'll make our own. We're in a hurry here, though, right? The enemy is now alarmed. They're now alerted to the fact that we're down here. And when you're facing multiple fire catapults, I recommend you build trebuchets to destroy them. If it's one or two, you can argue maybe you could rush the city, but especially if it's 2, 3, 4, I would try to destroy them. And of course, this process, you just put these in reserve. Most spells know this already. And the Valandians are terrified of us. They'll pay us for tribute, right? Which is silly. That doesn't make any sense at all. We'll take it, though. All right, so right about the time this second one is built, you can build a trebuchet here. I'm in a hurry, right? So even though these trebuchets are going to get pounded, it's still worth doing this. Now I can't fucking click it. Am I supposed to click it, Tail Worlds? There we go. And we've got a good engineer, so it should be able to do pretty good work on these trebuchets, or on these catapults. Of course, the dumbasses will target the walls instead of the fire catapult that's blasting them. There's nothing you can do about that, right? It's just part of the game mechanics. And I think we're not going to wait for a ram, or we're not going to wait for a siege tower. As soon as these catapults are down and we have a ram, we're going to blast this city. We don't have the time. It's interesting. Now I'm happy they're taking down a wall. Even though we're going to have a hole in the wall, we're going to be able to blast through that wall ourselves. So let's wait for, let's see. I don't want them to blow down both walls. Your walls take a long time to repair. We don't need the enemy to have a wall to be able to attack us, so let's go right now. We got a hole in the wall. We've got a fire catapult. If we can get a good angle on it, we're going to be able to melt the enemy with our fire catapult. The guy's saying right now in their head, hey, starve the city out. You got to remember, time is of the essence. I've probably spent too long already on this city. You really got to get in there, because we know the Aserai are coming. If it's 1,500 and Unquid around the corner, we've got to have a city to defend that kind of force. Nothing is set up here. What's going on? I guess it's because we're a new kingdom. All right, let's put a weak infantry division there. Good skirmishers there. What's happening here? Where's the hole? Over here. It's at a funky angle. I'm not sure we're going to be able to use that, but we'll try. Might still be able to lob some fireballs in there and scorch those enemies. All right, let's get our captains assigned here and start barreling into this city. Now, we want a big skirmisher division, the second division. It's worth spending a little bit of time here for an important siege like this. The biggest key here is we can't have a huge amount of losses. Anything more than like 100 dead is probably a bad result for us. All right, so third division can be auxiliary, shock troops basically to pull up late. Scrubs, second division, first division, fifth and sixth. And the enemy has no fire catapults here, right? So the hurry was before we set all this up, right? Now that we're in here, you want to be methodical. The ram can have the fourth division, I guess. Where's the ram? Do we not have a ram? We built a ram, right? Maybe, oh, you know what? We didn't even build a ram. That's right. So everybody coming through here. We can put some troops on the ladders, but I think we're just going to focus on the whole. Let's just put all of our weight onto that hole. That means the enemy is going to put all their weight there too, but that's fine. Might as well have trebuchet firing over here. All right.
Put all fire!
And we got a blind guy
On my flank!
on our fire catapult. Make sure that guy doesn't hit us.
After me!
And the enemy does not look very accessible here to the fire catapult. There's a random element to it. Sometimes the fire catapult is in a great spot. Sometimes like this, it's almost worthless.
Forward!
I think we'll still try to use it. We'll just see what kind of aim we can get. Maybe sometimes it can scorch troops that are just inside there, but it might just be a waste of our time. So I've put all our troops over here, right? And we're going to have tons of archers. We're going to have what I consider range hegemony. The enemy's not going to be able to withstand the amount of arrows and javelins and whatnot that are whiffling into the various different spots there. And don't hit our troops. You fucking guys. This guy, treasonous. He just killed our troops. And then he yelled, come on! Freaking dipshit. All right. Let's increase the angle a little bit and lob it up there. Let's see what we can strike. There we go. A nice little blind shot, right? So once you've found it, it's a little bit like, I guess I would say, water gold mining. You just kind of very slightly tinker with your shots. Turn them left and right. And don't adjust things much, right? Once you've found the G-spot, stay with it. Yeah. Yell curses at him at 200 yards. Now, I'm not going to sit here all day. I won't waste your time, and we'll use the RTS mod like this. We can do a very quick tutorial just for the guys. I always like to slip this tip in. Your distance on your trebuchet or your castle, or excuse me, on your catapult is controlled by the little red bar there on the left. See that little bar there? I can move that forward or backwards just by moving my character front, forward, and backward. And I love giving that tip because I didn't know that for my first year playing Bannerlord. They don't tell us this shit. So you have control over how far the shot goes. There you go. Have fun killing. Now I'm not going to sit here a few more shots. The main reason I want to sit in here right now is because I don't want these guys to kill our troops, right? Not to mention, of course, we're gaining levels, just killing the enemy. And you don't see our troops dying, right? Our troops are in a superior defensive position. They're just sitting right at the entry there. If the enemy's stupid enough to attack them, they're going to get melted. I think we'll take one or two more shots here. I get nervous with the fire catapult, man. Your allies will kill like 100 of your forces, so we'll see how this goes. Hold it, cross our fingers. But we should be able to completely sweep through the city here. There's going to be a fuck ton of defenders in there, no question. Make sure this guy's not aiming over here. And we don't actually want these guys up in the face here of the enemy. We want them back. We don't want the enemy fighting right at the gate. Let's pull back archers. Make sure our dumbass catapult is not doing his thing. All right, there's lots of enemy forces in there, but we're going to power our way through here. All right, they're going to come out. That's fine with us, right? We got plenty of skirmishers here to throw thousands of javelins into the enemy. Look at, they're pouring out of the city. We like this. This is really good for our force. Right, they're going to basically immolate these guys right in front of us. As long as our catapult doesn't kill these guys, or kill our own troops here, this is really good for us. The enemy's making a huge mistake here. I mean, they're fighting on our turf. All right, the catapult is no longer a threat. Let's pull back. We got tons of archers here just dumping everything. Pull all the troops back and we'll see how dumb the enemy is. They do seem intent on coming out, don't they? Look at this guy. Where are you going, Jagoff? Man, you don't ever see this. We'll take it. The whole enemy force is just pouring out of the city. I mean, they're going to kill a few of these guys that they bum rush, but the rest of them are going to get torched. And now we're going to use this momentum here. That's interesting. I love to see the AI variability, though. I got to tell you, it's a mistake right there getting ripped apart. It's definitely worse for them to come out as they get punished on the way back in. I mean, they're getting completely meat grounded here. That is the definition of getting your shit pushed in. Now, right here, when you have combat at the gate, you don't want this, right? So what you want to do here, you want to get your troops by these guys, right? So there's two ways to do it. You can push your way in, right at the edge. Now just drag the guys here. Don't fight, just run. Yeah, you fucker, my turn. I'm getting pelted. I should just hold up my shield. Damn it. Of course, our character is so early in this campaign, he hasn't even really gotten his skill set up. That's going to change pretty quick. So now we have just a huge breach. Now that you have that breach, then you charge, right? Send those divisions towards the enemy, and what you're doing now is just blowing a huge hole for all your archers. Just start spreading your archers out in giant lines. They're bringing over little militia, running over as fast as they can. And these guys are going to run almost as fast as they're running over here. Because we're going to have archers spraying arrows here pretty soon on their flanks. And as long as I don't kill half our forces here, we're just going to roll right through the city. Now they got a bunch of archers up on the walls. That's all right. We got archers spread all over the place. They chased that guy onto the roof. All right, split our infantry divisions here. Might as well open the door since we're here. Any reinforcements can come in the easy way. And you can see why this city is so defendable. This is going to be nasty. We're going to be able to get troops here, pounding the gate. We're going to be able to cover that right side very easily. And then I think there's all kinds of ramparts over here we can use as well. That'll be next episode. We're not going to have a siege defense, not unless there's a huge force of Asurai right around the corner. But you can see why this is a good choice. The Asurai have 3 or 4 cities that are excellent for defense, and they have 2 or 3 cities that are terrible. And that's another good reason to stop by the channel and throw away the lemon cities, right? Let somebody else try to defend those. All right, don't really need a heap of prisoners. Unless they're Vanguard Ferris. You got any Vanguard Ferris? We need some of those. I actually didn't see how many losses we had there. I think, well, it seemed pretty light. Them coming out of the city is definitely a favor. It wouldn't have mattered too much. Maybe that saved us 30, 40 casualties. We had such an overwhelming force there. We were just going to sweep through no matter what. And just like that, we got ourselves a fief. Now, we're going to have to defend it, but you don't stop here. Right? We need a castle. We need some place to really break the enemy, like water on rock. And there's nothing better than a really tight, compacted castle. So what we're going to do first is leave some food, and we're going to quickly go to a castle, and we're going to do a rush assault. We have no choice. The enemy's going to be coming this way soon. Got some nice equipment here. Some golden bracelets. It's appropriate here for our gangster dude. And it's onward. Now let's turn the militia, crank it to high. You turn everything off except the militia at the beginning, right? We need to get this running. And you know what? Let's call that governor to us. He's way up there at Poros. Where's this guy at? Here he is. Come here. All right, whoops. I got to go to the garrison here. Choose the prisoners. Throw all the prisoners in here. We're going to make it hard for the Asurai to get their nobles out. And let's see, what else can we do? What else should we do? We should do this. Make sure our army doesn't decompose. And we need... Go to keep. That's it. Manage garrison. Right, so our companions did this, right? These troops aren't free. Our companions threw all these troops in here. We can't afford this. We need most of these troops. The probability of us being attacked out in the open here when we're sieging, I guess we'll go either to Jemaya or Medeni Castle, I think are the two closest, is significant, right? There's going to be an Aserai response to this now. The surprise is over, right? The enemy's bringing the war dogs, but they're not going to want to attack this city. If they do, we'll just turn around and counterattack them, just like we did at Poros. It's building militia. The loyalty's okay. And now we've got policies galore, right? In fact, let's do a policy or two. That'll help us in the early state here. Let's do cantons. This is a good one. Faster military production or militia production. And then let's do, where's the one here? Somewhere in here. Bolster the militia. There it is. Right, boost our militia, kingdom-wide production. This is when we need militia. We need troops badly right now. Don't get dizzy. Spin you around here. And let's go to Jemaya Castle. Jemaya Castle, I think, is the better of the two. Let's make sure we don't get deserters here. Just give these guys a smattering of troops. The little things you got to do to keep your army from getting deserters, and also keep... These guys are getting skill points from this, right? They're gaining everything from leadership to steward to medicine. Might as well keep your companions working, right? In a long campaign, you're turning these guys into clan leaders, right? This campaign, we're probably not going to get that far. All right, blaze to a couple of these villages. This is our village, so we'll take all the goods and food here they'll sell us. Food is going to become an issue in this campaign, right? We're going to get our villages raided. We don't have enough troops to spread them around and you know, make attack dog divisions to guard these villages. We got to get peace with the Aserai. Now, I doubt they'll give it now. We've got a bunch of their units prisoner right there. They're not open to negotiations. Basically, it means you got to bloody their nose more. We're willing to do that. Our fist is clenched. All right, so pick up some villagers here, but speed is of the essence. We got probably, I'm just going to make a prediction, probably winter 5, we're facing a large Aserai force. So we got 4 or 5 days here to siege. There's not a huge defense here, though. We can go pretty quick. We've still got our guy, right? He's still, our engineer's still in place. Looks like we gained a level here. Let's punch. Let's do this. That way we get to the 275 athleticism faster. What do we do here? Let me think. I don't want to face fire catapults. I don't have a lot of time, though. Let's do compromise. We'll do a couple trebuchets. It takes a while to build that siege camp. And this time, right, the enemy's coming, basically. We can speed this up a little. And you're watching your 6 here. You see Unkud with 1900 over here. We're going to haul ass. We still have our city we can fall back to, right? We'll see how accurate I am. Winter 5 is my prediction. We'll put a couple of these in reserve. And they'll attack us here, too, if they get enough just small armies around us. Definitely engage us. All right, engineer, show your stuff, right? Blow up their catapults. You got one hit already. The clock, the race is on. Destroy him. We got it. That's down. We actually have a hole in the wall. Now that's a problem for defending, but again, it's going to make it easier for us to sweep through this castle. Let's recruit them. They're kind of weak anyways. I don't think there's anything in here. I guess we can start boosting our own engineering. Might as well. We got 500 troops. We're good. Now, episode 2 of this, we're going to do basically kingdom consolidation. I doubt the Aserai are going to give us peace after we take this castle, right? So this is just a preliminary step. You got to take your castle. You got to take your city. You got to hunker down, right there. It's basically a rite of passage. The enemy's coming, and you got to show Unquid and these Aserai forces that, you know, you're for real. You're not just going to crumple as soon as they send forces against us. Now, what I really want, honestly, because of our experience level, is to face, like, I don't know, 1,800 Aserai or something like that. I would love for Unquid to have a huge force. Doing this, too, look at the line of sight. hole in the wall right there. Those guys are absolutely fish in a barrel. We want the challenge, but also I think we can handle a huge force of Azeroth. All right. Now these guys are rushing up on their own. I'm okay with that in the short term. Let's get some archers. Oh shit, my divisions got mixed up. Let's see who's where here. This happens sometimes. If you don't take time to assign your units, it does it for you. It's kind of a pain in the ass. All they want to do is threaten that opening. The rest of the troops just get them up here and spread them out, right? Let's get these archers all over the place. I don't like the AI, how they set out the troops. We do it better. And I don't want to go in, right? I don't want these forces running through that hole. I want to be in charge. You don't have to do this, right? You could just have your troops zerg this city or zerg this castle, and maybe you only have 150 casualties. I'm going to try for like 15 casualties. All right, now I actually can't see the hole. It's like blind. I'll give you guys a tip. I don't think we need it, but what you can do here is you can actually use the photo mode, right? You can go right here and go to the photo mode, and I'm not gonna do it to cheat, but you can just go up here and see where your shot is going, right? You guys that are struggling at Bannerlord, we're gonna try to give you guys more tips. I'm gonna try to do it through feel here. I wonder if I'm taller on this camel to see. Okay, so it is basically right over those ramparts, I think. It's hard to see. It's a good castle design. Basically, it's uphill. Now our archers are just shredding everything.
Hold up the move! Infantry forward!
At least he's aiming for the siege weapons. I'm only going to take a few shots here. It's probably not worth our time. Can't even tell if that went into the city. I thought our line of sight would be good here, but I think our troops are actually kind of in the way. So you know what? To hell with it. We don't need to be a perfectionist any more than we already are. All right, let's rush this city, or rush this castle. Half the defense force is already smoked. They've just been getting ripped up by all our ranged units. Let's push our square in here. In fact, let's roll our camel proudly in our new castle. There's our castle. Out of the way, serfs. We're going to just absolutely flatten this city. Ouch. In they come. Huge zerg. And as long as I don't... Well, actually, it doesn't matter. We got the RTS mod. No matter what happens here, our troops are just going to pour in. And why is this castle so good for defense? Look at the secondary defense. It has a savage secondary defense. You could basically argue it's like two castles in one. Right, there's this great secondary defense back here. And it's the interior, though. This is just incredibly lethal. You can get archers up here. The enemy coming over any of the walls is going to get completely ripped apart. I mean, picture those are enemy troops up there on the walls, right? Those guys get smoked. I think you can use up there too, even with this tier. Let's take a peek at that. Here, we'll just do this. Yeah, look at this. I can get archers up here for the main gate, just like this guy here. These defense structures are actually in your way, right? You want to just break those for a siege defense, and maybe we'll have the opportunity to do that, but that will be next episode. Cruise through this castle defense. Everything's piling up, renown, morale, everything is looking good, but the enemy's coming, right? So don't go away. The next episode is definitely going to be interesting, and what we're going to do is do 2 episodes of this sort of fast-paced new kingdom. We're going to take this kingdom here. Probably just one more episode. We'll see. If the enemy mounts a really nasty attack, maybe it'll be 2, right? They're obviously gearing up to attack, but we now have a rebellion inside the asteroid kingdom. And why is this so effective? Who's going to declare war on us? Maybe one of these other kingdoms, but probably not, right? Just the asteroid. And if they do, now we've got 2 great defense locations to start our kingdom. Quasira is next, too, right? You beat the enemy in the nose, and then you counterattack Quasira. But enough of future plans, right? That'll be next episode. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, got a few things out of it, friends. If you did, I'd love it if you subscribe, hit that like button. All the other things I'm supposed to say here, right? Tell your other dorm mates to check it out, and hopefully we can turn you into a Bannerlord as well. Thanks again for watching, friends. We'll see you next time.